Hey guys, I said that we were going to do just a fun Q&A, so we're going to do that. Everybody turned in questions for the last week, so we have a big jar full of questions. Jim has a buster.
I have a buster. Oh, get on camera, buddy. You gotta get your 15 minutes of fame in. There you go.
So every question that was asked is in here. Some of them, McKenna, are a little different. But we'll at least read them all and we'll see where it goes. Do you want to do the honor?
No, go ahead. I got a handful of buster right now. What is it?
Redhead Stitcher says, what's your favorite vacation you've been on together? And did anything embarrassing or funny happen to either of you or both? Well, I know my answer. We'll see if yours is the same.
Okay.
My favorite vacation that we went on was it last year that we flew out to El Paso and then we drove up to Carlsbad Caverns? Or was it the year before?
Years. That might have been 2 years.
Maybe that was 2018.
Last year was the cruise with your mom.
Yes. Yes, you're right. So we flew out to El Paso and just wandered around in the desert and went up to Carlsbad Caverns. And the funny thing was when we were down at we had toured all of Carlsbad Caverns and they were like, okay, the tour's over. You guys can take the elevator back up or you can just walk out the natural entrance. That's up to you.
And we'd already rode the elevator down. Yeah.
And we'd already walked all over the inside of the cave down at the bottom.
Which is very cool, by the way.
Yeah. 2 thumbs up. It was great. But I was like, I really want to walk out the natural entrance. I think that'll be cool. It's just right over there. Thinking that it wouldn't take very long.
3 days later, we emerged from the darkness, the depths.
Hold on. We actually have a picture of us framed inside the front door from the moment we finally got out.
Yeah, it's true.
This picture is from that vacation when we finally got to the Earth's surface.
Yes, it was the first time we had ever seen the sun. I think first time we'd seen the sun in like a week.
Yeah, we were down there a long time.
Yeah.
Do you have a different answer?
No, that one was pretty good. The only thing that comes to mind was when we got married. And it wasn't a vacation, but we had driven out to...
we eloped.
Yeah, Lexington.
Mm-hmm.
And we stayed in this really old, crazy, haunted hotel, which was great. But the funny thing about that was, like, it was the middle of the week. We were literally the only people there. We had just booked like a regular old room, and they're like, well, since you're the only people in the hotel, take like one of the master suites and stuff, and that's what we did. It was so cool.
Yeah, we had like a living room, and then like, it was built in the 1800s, so there was like...
And then burnt down, and then rebuilt, and then burnt down again, and all sorts of stuff. There was a tree growing through it at one point.
That's why we booked it, though, for the history, and just, I mean, it was
But
really
the funny
cool.
thing that happened was the guy behind the desk, when we came back from eating, the guy was like, all right, well, I leave at 9 o'clock. We'll lock up the doors, and if you need anything, you can just call the number, and the owner is like right up the street. And we're like, so like, no one's going to be here but us? And the guy's like, yeah.
Yeah. So like, it was like a 4-story 1800s hotel on the town square, and we had the run of the place for the night.
And it was haunted as hell, and we were just running around the hotel at like midnight, just scaring the crap out of each other.
It was fun. So what most couples do on their wedding night, I mean, we know what most couples do on their wedding night. We were running it around like Scooby-Doo ganging it in the old hotel.
Yeah. Yeah. That was fun.
That was fun. Pull one out.
Help me with the buster. What does it say? It is Kismet Stitches.
That's Diana.
Yes, I know who Diana is.
I don't know if you knew her handle.
Mm-hmm. I have no idea what this says anymore.
Oh, he's helping. What's our dream trip? Somewhere we haven't been. She said, give me a heads up. I'll need popcorn.
No.
Laughing face. Dream trip. Somewhere y'all haven't been.
That's a tough one. I know Emily's answer. Emily's answer is going to be Alaska.
I do want to go to Alaska. I really want to go and see the Aurora Borealis. That is on my, have-to-do list.
I want to see Aurora Borealis too, but she's a stripper in Las Vegas. So we kind of want to see the same thing, but it's kind of different also.
And when you see, all of the color change on her, she should probably go to the doctor.
She's a gecko. I know yours. What's mine? What's my...
I don't know. What is yours?
No, well, I answered yours.
Oh, Jesus.
The trick is that I don't really have a place, and I'm hoping she comes up with something, because I have no answer for this.
Well, I'm trying to think of somewhere that you would like to go, because Jim's already been to Europe. I mean, there was a time where he kept telling me, I want to see blue water, I want to see blue water, and we did that. Mm-hmm. So, maybe you would want to go somewhere more tropical.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah.
We'll go with that.
Look at me knowing my husband. Mm-hmm. Okay. Sheep for him asks, what is his hobby of choice? So this is just a you question.
Do you have to answer it or do I?
You.
For a while, I was really into collecting baseball cards, because my brother and I had a pretty extensive collection when we were younger. I still have it, and I still work on it a little bit. She gets me a lot of cool cards that I ask for Christmas and
They're
stuff.
good stocking stuffers.
But I would say definitely, without a doubt, lately, the thing that I collect the most are vintage old toys.
Which I now try to get him for Christmas as well.
Yes, which is
great. I rocked
great.
it out this last Christmas.
I've said this to her so many times before. I didn't know anything about cross-stitch or quilting or anything that you're kind of into now. Mm-hmm. But just being around that person that is into that hobby, you just will learn stuff about.
Yeah. If we went through everything in my basket that's right here on the table, you could probably tell me what everything was.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not saying that I'm going to Scott this and start stitching. Scott. But...
That's Megan's husband, Stitching May.
Yeah. Yeah, you do pick up stuff.
Yeah.
And, it's funny because, she'll get me Star Wars figures, and she won't learn their names. She won't bother to learn their names. She will just call them by some thing that sticks out, oh, here's three-horn guy. Here you go.
We can't say the name of the one that...
No.
Sometimes they look like things.
Yeah.
Sometimes inappropriate things.
Right.
And I just call them that.
Right. Which is great, because then I just rename them that. And then when I go to my collector group, and I'm like, hey, I got a carded penis fingers. And they're like, who's that? And I'm like, oh, that's the...
that's what my wife... That's my wife's nickname for it. And they're
sorry. I thought everyone called them that.
Your turn.
I lost my Buster.
You scared him. And then he found food. Buster's doing pretty okay right now, by the way. Stitching Inglis?
No. It's not stitching...
Stitching Liss.
Stitching Liz?
Yeah, L-I-S. Stitching Liss.
Okay. What is the best gift you've ever gotten from the other? That would be the carded penis fingers.
What's the best gift I ever gave you?
You're
covered in Buster hair.
Well, that would be the gift of eternal love.
Aww.
Yeah. And the carded penis fingers.
What's the best gift I ever gave you?
I don't know. That is a hard one. I mean, my mind goes right to all the the old toys that you've got me, because those are the things that I'm like, oh yeah. She always gets me good vinyl.
Yeah.
And she's really good about, like, if, like, I'm looking, you know, it's not, I'm looking for a Van Halen, it's, I'm looking for 1984. She'll, you know, she'll find the exact one. So, good job. She did one time get me an amazing hoodie. It was a golf hoodie. I love that. That was really cool. And I didn't ask for it or anything. She just saw it, thought that I would like it, and she bought it for me, and I did like it. It was really cool. How did you enjoy that hoodie, by the way?
Okay, so I bought the hoodie, and it was missized. Like, I just went by the size on the tag, which was a double XL, and I bought it and wrapped it up.
And it was like a youth medium. Like, it was so small. I put it on and almost exploded off of me.
He was like,
yeah, I like this. I like this a lot. That's really cool. I can't put my arms down. So,
you love that one, don't you? What about the Trans Am keychain I got you? Like,
yeah.
I had like, what do they call it when you actually work with someone and tell them what you want?
Yeah,
They make
whatever,
it from
a
scratch.
metal worker.
Custom ordered. I had it custom made.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the funny thing about that is that, like, I'm always like, I need parts for the Trans Am. Well, not parts, but even like mats or seat covers or something like that.
I think I bought you mats once.
No, I've asked you, and you always, she's always like, she never wants to get anything for the Trans Am because she's always afraid that it's going to be the wrong thing or something like that. So I'm like, I need, like, you know, seat covers, and she's like, okay, here's a key ring. But the key ring is cool because on the back it says Betsy, which is the name of the car.
Jim has bought me a bunch of cool stuff. He really pays attention. If I tell him I want something, he gets it. My stitching stand is right here. I use it every day. My stitching light is right here. I use it every day. He bought me both of those.
The stitching stand is was Diana's idea.
Oh,
she helped me out a lot on that one.
Yep.
Actually, that's, now that I'm thinking about it, I think a lot of, whenever it was like, comes down to getting Emily gifts, I'm always talking to Baxter's
McKenna. That's what Jim calls her.
Diana, or like you guys are like the most, like, you're my Wikipedia for getting Emily stuff. Oh, I think the chatelaine I got you was Letitia's.
Mm-hmm.
Helped me out big time on that.
Yeah, Trisha has helped you?
Yes, get the threads, that's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm pulling one. How would you say that? I always, when I see their handle, I think it's Tubi Stitch or Tob Stitch. What is your favorite food and your favorite restaurant?
Anything Italian.
Jim loves anything Italian. I love Mexican. I love Mexican food. Like, cover something in cheese sauce.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in.
But you've got to admit, every culture has a cheese-heavy.
Well, I also
dish,
like a little bit of spice.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Mexican is where it's at for me.
Which is crazy because when we first got together, she didn't know how to make a quesadilla, which is like a grilled cheese sandwich, essentially. And you
Well, I had just never done it. I mean, it's pretty simple. I could do it. But why would you make a quesadilla in the kitchen, was my opinion, when I could just go down the road to the Mexican restaurant?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I will say this. You turned me on to guacamole.
He didn't like guacamole. Although he thought he didn't like guacamole. He didn't know. It was green and looked yucky.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. And then after I had guacamole, I started eating avocados on stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to admit, you put guacamole on weird stuff.
I do.
You put guacamole on hamburgers and just crazy weird things.
Yeah, it's delicious. And it's good fat. It's good for you.
Sure.
So your favorite food is Italian. Where's our favorite restaurant?
Well, I really like the place with the veggie lasagna and the really good.
Oh, the place where we've gone to with Megan and Scott.
Right, which is hard now since it's hard to pull Scott away from his stitching projects now to actually get out there and go out to eat with them. But I guess we caught him in between projects.
So yeah, we've gone there. There is a Thai restaurant down the road that I really like. I always like to go there for my birthday.
But that can't be your favorite Thai place, though. There's probably someplace out in California that you've been to.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the best place around here without having to go into the muck of Atlanta, which I despise.
What is
we can talk food forever.
Yeah,
by the way.
Do bakeries count as restaurants? That's the question.
They're bakeries.
But like the cupcake place has tables that you can just sit down and eat.
No, I don't think so.
Well, what entitles a restaurant and not a restaurant?
They serve you a meal at a restaurant.
Okay, so Dunkin' Donuts isn't a restaurant either.
I don't think so. Well, it's not. To me, it's where's your favorite place to get a meal?
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'd probably say a place out in Rome.
With that said, I can tell you where we usually end up on a Friday night because we go out and we don't like crowds and we don't like to wait in line. So we usually either end up at our local Buffalo's or at IHOP.
Yeah.
Because you can just walk right in.
It's true. Now, when I was little, we ate at a place in Boston called the Ground Round. The Ground Round, it was kind of like an Applebee's now and stuff like that, but if it was of all time, the Ground Round really brings back great memories because they used to give you little baskets full of popcorn, like theater popcorn. That was like their appetizer. It's like some big places put bread out on the table. They'd give you popcorn. Yeah, it was wonderful.
Well, it's like Buffalo's. Buffalo's is a wing place, by the way, for those who aren't from around here. You go in there, and there's a big, huge, like, whiskey barrel full of peanuts.
Yeah.
And you just get the scooper and get yourself some peanuts.
Right, and it's got all sorts of coronavirus in there, too.
It's very classy.
People sneeze all over
They crumb the table.
Yeah.
They don't crumb the table.
In New Jersey, there's a place called Vesuvio's. That was my favorite Italian place that I think about.
Have I ever been there with you?
No, I don't think I took you up there. I took you through West Milford.
Yeah.
That one time we went on that tour.
John tour?
Yeah, but I don't think we ever went to Vesuvio's. That is a great homemade pizza place, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you should. You got a big one.
Uh-oh. Alright, this is a stitch too far.
That's Ingeborg.
Uh-oh. Do I have to read all of them?
We one at a time, or all of them?
Who would survive longest when you would both be stranded on the same desert island? What's the thing you hate, but you do it anyway to please the other, and your favorite pizza topping? Let's do these one at a time.
Okay, so desert island.
Yeah, who would survive the longest, which is very easy? It would be you.
Well,
because I wouldn't have my pills, and I would die within a week.
That's a very good point. But I would get so sunburnt that I would probably dehydrate and die pretty quickly.
You would be like, if it was just you and me on that island, you'd be like, why are there so many people on this island? And you would probably jump off and try to swim to another island where no one was. And if there were cats on that island, you would never leave it. It would be you, because...
I would probably live the longest,
right.
Just because of medical stuff.
You would have a hard time going through coffee withdrawal.
Yeah.
But without my heart medication, you'd be eating gym burgers. And I give you permission when I die, if you need to eat me.
Oh,
that's
monkey.
Fine. But, what's the thing you hate but do it anyway to please the other? That thing.
The thing you like to do?
That thing. There's the thing.
I think we both watch a lot of television that the other one likes.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And...
It's not that she watches bad shows. It's just that she watches the same show over and over. And I don't mean just an episode. I mean season. So she'll watch Parks and Rec.
I do a lot of binging.
She'll watch Parks and Rec from beginning to end and then be like, I haven't seen Buffy in a while. So she'll watch Buffy from beginning to end.
I'm watching Buffy right now.
And then it'll be like Supernatural. She'll start Supernatural from beginning to end. And then she'll be like, wait a minute, I haven't seen Parks and Rec. And she'll go back to that again. So you get tired of seeing the same shows over and over again.
And what I've learned, because I posted about Buffy the other day, Buffy is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Some of the older ladies thought I was talking about A Family Affair, which is some show with a character named Buffy.
Oh.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah, you guys read too far into that one. What's your favorite pizza topping?
We both like Hawaiian pizza.
Yeah, which is a thing that she got me into. I thought that would be absolutely gross, kind of like guacamole. I used to just like ground beef, on my Vesuvio's pizza.
I will eat any pizza as long as there's not green peppers or uncooked onion.
Yeah, if there's dark barf on there, if there's enough cheese, I'm good.
There is a pizza that the local place, Mellow Mushroom here makes, that I'm obsessed with. The one that I always get, they call it a Maui Wowie.
Yeah.
Which has pineapple on it, but it also has like pesto sauce, jerk chicken, banana peppers, bacon. It's good.
The Mellow Mushroom is a great place to get pizza.
We really like food.
Yeah. Do you want to turn this off and go get something to eat?
Wait, we haven't had dinner yet.
Do you want to read the second one?
Okay.
By the way, that was all one question.
Yeah, and there's more from Ingeborg.
Right.
Would you volunteer to go on a space mission? If yes, how far would you want to go? I get motion sick. So the idea of going into space is really super cool.
Yeah.
Like, I would love the idea of being weightless and seeing things like that. And guess what? There's not a lot of people in space.
It's true. But there's one thing you have to take into account. There's a mission involved. This isn't a space journey.
I'm out.
There's a mission. Ingeborg, what's the mission? Are we assassinating aliens? Because I'm in.
I'm out.
Just let me know.
I want to stitch and watch Buffy.
But if it's
and maybe Parks and Rec again.
But if she's like, oh, yeah, I'm missing a sock and I think it's on Venus. No, I'm not going to Venus to get your extra sock. Find someone else to do that.
But someone knitted it for her. It's a very special sock.
Well, then I think Ingeborg can go get her own damn sock from space.
What's the last one?
And who's paying for this trip, by the way? I'm not going to. Ingeborg said, Jim called me and she left me her number. Just keep that one.
Just put that in your pocket.
It says, when are you coming to the Netherlands? Nether.
Jim has been to the Netherlands. I have not.
Yes.
I would like to go one day.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and when we do go, we will probably meet up with Ingeborg somewhere and go to a coffee shop and get high as kites.
I've never smoked pot before.
You don't smoke it, you drink it in a milkshake.
Yeah, apparently that's a thing there.
Yeah.
So because I've always had a job that drug tested, and here where we live, it's illegal. So, Ingeborg, let's do this.
Maybe that's what she meant by mission to space. Maybe she just means get
so
high that you are floating around.
Yeah, the milkshake made you feel like you were in space.
Mm-hmm. It also brings all of the boys to the yard.
Granny Kim Annie says, do you have an art background? You're gifted in color conversion, both red and linen.
Yes, thank you. That is a good question. I do have an art background. I don't know what you're talking about with the red, though.
Jim did go to art school. I always refer to him as my art school dropout.
Dropout being the most important part of that sentence.
Yeah, but
she does have a art background. She did interior design for a while. She was actually going to college for it.
Yep. That was my major for a while in college before I had an epiphany. Yeah. One night working on a project for an art class and said, I don't think that I'm helping people.
Right.
And then for some reason I switched into a psychology major and doomed myself to make really crappy pay the rest of my life.
Yeah. Yeah, which is crazy because she was making such good money stripping under the name Aurora Borealis.
And it comes full circle, guys. Full circle.
You want to come back up? That joke brought him back. It just takes one good joke to resurrect him. We're going to read one. Okay, Buster? You and me?
He's like this all the time.
Here we go.
It's fun.
You start. Haley.
Haley is a ex-coworker. You know how like you have your best friend at work? It's my girl Haley. She follows me on Instagram, so she added a question.
Right on the money, buddy. Good job. This will answer your question, actually. She says, why won't you have a baby to please your friend Haley? See, it even rhymes. The answer is because Buster keeps accidentally stepping on my festivals.
If you can't guess what festivals are.
So, I don't know. Why? Answer your friend.
No, Haley.
No means no.
We have furry children.
Yeah.
But I always told Haley if I ever accidentally get pregnant with Jim's child, I will carry that child to term and she can have it. How do you feel about that?
And it will be way better than her kid.
Yeah, it'll be an awesome kid.
She doesn't watch your videos, does she?
I'll tell her where to watch this one. Is it my turn?
Yeah. Buddy, you want some of this?
The Imperfectly Perfect Stitcher says, if you could get away with a crime, what would it be?
Is it me or you?
I'm assuming that we could both answer all of them. But my question is it a crime that we think we could actually get away with? Or what crime would we want to get away with?
Yeah. I would like to get away with robbing a bank for $1 billion.
Or, like, if we just really want to get out there, maybe we rob some drug lord so that it's dirty money. I'm cool with dirty money. And not like good people's money.
Yeah.
And then we'll run away to Alaska and live.
So you rob the drug lord, and then I'll kill her and take all the money. It's the perfect crime.
Done.
Yeah.
Pulling.
Although, I will say this. I've always wanted to run over a crippled kid walking across a crosswalk. But I hear the fines are pretty hefty. So that might be a close second.
We have dark senses of humor in our household, so hopefully you understand that that is a really weird joke.
Amy loves toads.
Amy does love toads.
How did you all meet? Is there a cute engagement story? There is a wonderful. It's a proposal story. But we met back in the Stone Age when MySpace was around.
Which I'm pretty sure doesn't exist anymore, for those of you youngsters.
Mm-hmm.
It was Facebook before Facebook.
Right. Yep. And I had just moved into Cartersville. She was local. We just started talking.
I had just moved here too. We moved and both started jobs here in the new city on the same day.
But what made her start talking to me? Because she had tons of guys messaging her. She recognized the Waffle House I was sitting at in one of my pictures. Not just as, hey, that's a Waffle House. She was like, hey, that's the Waffle House at this address.
Well, because it was the Waffle House closest to my house.
And we're food people.
And we're food people. We know our restaurants.
Here's the engagement story.
Okay.
In a nutshell.
He's going to make me look really bad. He loves telling the story.
So, we decided to get married very quickly. Like, it was like 3 months from, like, we just...
Well,
there wasn't a big length of time.
Well, we dated for a while, and then when we got engaged, we had been living together for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like we met and got engaged.
Right.
Like, we've known each other for well over a decade.
Yeah. Right. So there was no proposal. There was no, it wasn't, we decided we were going to get married before I even thought about getting her a ring.
But you said that you had thought about marrying me.
Okay. So she picked out the ring that she wanted because that was too much pressure for me, I think. I didn't want to screw that up because my biggest fear is you're stuck with this ugly hunk of jewelry that you just absolutely hate for the rest of your life. And I would feel terrible about it.
I actually picked out, I think, a group that I liked, and I was like, this is the kind of thing I like.
Yeah.
Do your thing.
So I ordered the ring, and it was on its way, and I said, you know, the way we did this kind of robbed us of having a cooling, you know, proposal story, you know, jumbotrons or skywriting or whatever the hell that you wanted to do.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, and obviously we were pretty broke at the time, so it was like kind of on a budget. So I decided that whenever the ring appeared at the house, whatever day it was, wherever I was, wherever she was, I was going to get that ring, I was going to open up, make sure it was the right one, and then I was just going to go find her. It doesn't matter where she was or what she was doing. I'm just going to go find her, barge into wherever that is, and ask her to marry me, down on one knee, the whole deal. And I realized when I came up with this plan that she could be in court or in the middle of something really private or important, and I went with this. I said, I'm going to go ahead and...
I'm so glad I wasn't in court.
And go with this. So the ring arrives. I got home from work early. So I got to it before you got home. Mm. So I saw it was there, and I said, all right, I'm going to hop in the Trans Am, and I'm just going to go find her. I don't know where she is. I'm just going to drive. I'm not going to call her or text her and ask her. I'm going to surprise her with this. So I just started driving, and I said, all right, first obvious place, I'm going to go to her work. Second place was going to be the courthouse, which I'm glad it wasn't there either. So I show up at her work. She hears the car, because she's there. She hears the car outside. So
it's unmistakable, the
right.
sound of that Trans Am.
So I pull up. I see her car there, so I park next to it. She comes outside, and I just get out, and I walk right over to her, and I got down on one knee and opened up the box and gave her the ring, and we were watching a lot of Duck Dynasty at the time. And I said, Emily, make me happy, happy, happy. And to that, she said, what'd you say?
Get up.
That was not a yes or a no.
No, it's still recording. The phone records for 30 minutes, and then it takes that file size and moves to another file, but it's still recording. Okay.
So that was our adorable engagement story. Me asking her to marry me and her saying, "Get up off the ground."
Well,
I don't want people to see this.
With that said, the only other person there was my boss, and to me that was a very private moment that I wanted me and Jim, and we were right outside of her window at that point. And that felt like a moment I didn't want her to be a part of. And that's all that was about.
Yeah. It's a recurring theme in our relationship where I try and do really nice romantic things, and it's met with aggression and anger, and then he
is way more romantic.
And then later she'll say, "That was really sweet, but don't ever do that again. I will rip your festivals off and shove them down your throat if you do that again."
Stitcher Row asks, "What's your favorite couples activity outside of the house in parenthesis?"
Well, that's
so
the same answer inside and out. Favorite couples activity outside of the house. The thing we do the most is go out to eat.
I mean, there's a reason that we both have weight problems.
However, That's news to me. That's the first time hearing of this. Do I have a weight problem?
What?
However, we have recently started...
He's going to the gym and trying to lose weight. I'm not being mean.
Again.
Yeah, we both do this.
Again, the aggression. This is what I have to deal with all the time. She's like, you're fat. Go to the gym.
Shut up.
That's
not helping, is it?
We have been going to the movies more than usual lately, and that's something that we enjoy doing. However, it is funny. Every time we go to the movies and we get there like 40 minutes early because we're 107.
That's what we do. We sneak in our snacks.
And we sneak in snacks. We go to the 1 o'clock show.
Because it's cheaper.
Because we want to get dinner at 3 when we leave. And so we sit there and there's no one there. And like the commercials aren't even being played. There's nothing in the theater. People are still cleaning up from the last movie, and we get the best seat in the house, and we're sitting there, and it, like, at some point, whether the movie is about to start or it has started or something, someone will walk in and sit, like, in front of us or next to us, and we'll both be, let's go. You know, like...
Well, the theater's, like, almost empty. You're really going to come in and sit down right next to me?
And it's not just that. It's just, like, seriously, you're here to see, you know... Finding Dory. It's been out of the theater for a year now. Why? Like, we should be the only ones here. I see the big one, and I'm not going for it.
You're not going to take the big one?
No.
The big one is all Baxter.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say it's probably another one of the Dutch. Crisscross Stitch. Crisscross, by the way, will make you jump. MacDad will make you.
Jump.
What is the single most annoying thing your spouse does that makes you want to smother him or her with a pillow? It's a funny thing that sentence ends with the word pillow.
I knew you were going to say this.
What is it? What's the most annoying thing I do?
That you do? I would have to say the most annoying thing that Jim does is that it sometimes takes him forever to finish a sentence.
This question ends with a divorce, by the way. This question ends with us getting lawyers and signing papers. Thank you, Crisscross.
It does. But these are things that we already know about each other. He knows that drives me crazy. Because I'm like, finish the sentence already.
Other things that drive her nuts is when I say, you know what I mean? But...
Oh, yeah, we'll be in the middle of talking, and he'll be telling this long, rambly story.
Or I'll say, right?
Go, right?
Yeah.
Right?
And...
You know?
That, up north, is punctuation. That's not part of the story. But she feels compelled to answer that every time, and I think that's why...
Well, I feel like he thinks that I'm not listening,
which
and I am.
She doesn't.
I am. And I feel like that's his way of going, listen to me, and that gets on my nerves.
The third thing would probably be my driving.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he drives, well, having been to New Jersey now, he drives like he's from New Jersey. He goes way too fast, and he follows people way too close.
Right. And the fourth thing would be... I don't leave the room when I fart.
That doesn't bother me.
It bothers her because she'll say, you walked in here and then farted. Like, you were already outside of the room. I knew you felt it out there. Why didn't you just stay out there before you came in here? And I say, because then you would have missed all this.
Do you know there are some couples that don't fart in front of each other?
Yeah. Okay. Those people explode. You've heard of spontaneous combustion. You now know the reason for it. People just explode randomly, and then they go, that guy should have just taken that ham out of the oven.
Those people also don't go out to eat and enjoy food as much as we do, probably.
True. It's very true.
Okay, what do you want to smother me with a pillow for?
So,
I know the answer.
Yeah, the reason that it's so funny that you say the word pillow is because Emily has started this new nighttime activity, where she does various impressions of dump trucks or chainsaws or you know, trucks driving through nitroglycerin factories. But I shouldn't be surprised because both her mom and her dad snored very loud. And my parents do too. I shouldn't say anything.
I snore so loudly though. Who knows if you snore?
The funny thing is that my body has now gotten used to it to the point where I will start having weird dreams where I will be like, you know, doing whatever activity. I'll be, you know, in a canoe just paddling down a river, and all of a sudden a Jake brake will go off, and I'll be like, why is there a truck there? Well, it stopped. Then it'll go off again. I'll be like, that's so weird. Where is that truck? And then it'll just, and then I'll wake up, and then it'll be her. right. She's like facing me right in my face, just snoring away, and I'm like, oh, Emily's the Jake brake. Okay.
He loves it.
Yeah.
He loves it so much.
But it's just crazy. My body is now like, she's not going to stop. We just have to incorporate this. This is our life now. This is how we sleep. But
there are probably other things other than my snoring.
I bet you that if I got a hotel room and slept somewhere without you, I probably would not sleep the same now. Because I've gotten so used to it. But sometimes
I'll be out of town for a couple of nights at the end of the month. But the tell.
Yeah. But sometimes it's just so loud it wakes me up.
I feel bad, but I can't do anything about it. I mean.
And then she says, "You need to wake me up."
Yeah, wake me up.
I would rather wrestle a bear than wake her up. Not that I could, because I could probably hit her with a train and she would sleep through. You sleep through anything.
Yeah. We literally have a train near our house and I sleep through trains.
Yeah. Other things that you do that annoy me, I don't know. Oh, you because I'm such a bad driver, she always points out how bad and what I'm doing.
That gets on your nerves. Yeah. You get annoyed with me being on my phone.
Yeah. And you're kind of a grammar Nazi.
Yeah. Yeah. He doesn't punctuate anything. Like, he doesn't capitalize. He doesn't punctuate.
Yeah. I'm one of those people that, like, when someone says the wrong word, like, what are you talking about specifically? It's like, you mean specifically. You know what I mean? Like, but at the same point, I'm not smart enough to not do it myself. So I sometimes say the wrong word, and I know I've said the wrong word because she'll go, and I'm like, hey, that's not the word, is it? And she's like, no, it's this. So at least she curbs herself from just being like, no, moron, that's not it.
And you ask me how to spell things. I mean,
Oh, yeah, she's a great editor.
Oh, it's part of what I do for work.
Yeah.
Okay, me or you?
I think I read Crisscrosses.
Smother with a Pillow.
Yeah.
Lainey 8030 via DM sent me, when are you getting a dog?
We have one.
Yeah, Buster.
Name's Buster.
Yep, best dog we've ever had.
He's a Labrador flame tip.
Yeah, Siamese dog.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Great dog.
Yeah, he's great. He barks at birds and
he does.
Eats like crazy and likes to be scratched on the hindquarters.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Jim treats him like a dog. He acts like a dog. Great dog.
Why do I got long ones? It's Lori, isn't it?
Yep. Mischievous Stitches.
Mischievous Lori. What are your pet names for one another? Do you want to answer these one at a time?
Yeah.
What are your pet names for one another?
Pookie.
Sugar Tits.
Monkey.
That's it. I just call her Sugar Tits because she lets me. The reason I get away with that, by the way, is because my other ones were so much worse that she settled on that one. Yeah. I had her saved in my phone as Love Wad for a really long time.
Until I saw it.
She saw it. She's like, no. That is coming out right now.
Now you have me as wifey.
Yeah. No, you're my wife. That's what it says. It says, my wife, with a bunch of exclamation marks at the end of
I'm the weirdo who has him in my phone as Jim Savaro.
it. So formal.
Yeah, there's a little heart after it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the way I look at it is, if I'm ever in a car accident and someone finds my phone, they're not going to know that Emily is my wife. But when they see my wife, not only will they know to call that number, but they might read it in that Borat voice and be like, this guy is a pretty funny guy.
We should save him.
It's too bad he got cut in half by that semi. He was really funny.
Oh, honey.
By the way, Monkey was my name for you.
I took it.
And you just stole it.
Yeah.
Does Emily sing in the shower? And if so, what songs? Emily does not shower.
Never. Well, when I color my hair.
Yeah, that's very rare. Well, it's not very rare you color your hair, but she's a bather. She takes baths. Mm-hmm. And she does sing, but she makes up songs.
Oh, I make up a lot of songs.
She makes up a lot of songs, and she sings.
It's usually about what I'm doing in the bath at
exactly.
the time.
She's like, what's that, Chapman? What is that girl's name? Chapman? I got a fast car. You know that one?
Yeah.
Like, she just sing about stuff, or Randy Newman just singing about stuff that he sees. Like, she'll be like, putting shampoo in my hair, you know?
That's exactly what I sound like right there.
It's hilarious. It's great. We have
washing up my shampoo.
Right, but they don't have lyrics. It's just a single line is a whole song, and then I'll go, "What's the name of that song?" And she'll be like, "It's called I'm putting shampoo in my hair."
Yeah, what would the name of it be?
Right,
other than that?
Right.
Come
so
on,
those
Jim.
are pretty entertaining. But if you really want to hear her sing, she does a really good Neil Diamond impression. That's probably one of the best ones.
It's terrible.
And she has a couple of kind of dirty songs that are great, where she just says body parts, like nothing about them. She just sing about a body part, and she just say that word over and over and over again,
as
like,
fast as you can.
Right, it's hilarious, but to like a rhythm and with a little bit of melody.
That's a little private couple thing.
That's not. It's not. It's hilarious. We need to share that with the world. If Emily were going to be in a movie about her life, who would she choose to play Jim?
We actually talked about this one. I thought that, and he got upset because he was like, the fat guy? But I was like, I think that Kevin James would play you well.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
then when I said, "Oh, you picked the fat guy," she was like, "Well, how about Joe Manganiello?" And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, that's believable."
He's like, "Okay, yeah."
Yeah, no, you're
Kevin
right.
James.
And then I started thinking about it, and I'm like, "Yeah, Adam Sandler could probably play me. Like any goofy, unattractive idiot probably could play me pretty well." I said Chris Farley.
No.
But she said that he's more slapstick and I'm not
physical
that,
comedy. That's not you.
Yeah.
Who would play me?
We did talk about this, didn't we? What did I say? I said Sandra Bullock. Mm-hmm. Because Sandra Bullock is serious and like preppy in her roles. But there's a hint of comedy to them also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
I could dig that.
Oh, and I said
I'd have to lose
the other
some weight
really
for her
good
to
one
be me.
was Lisa Kudrow. Lisa Kudrow would have been a good one for you.
Mm-hmm. This first one, this is from Julicious. The first one is specifically for you.
3.5 Pathfinder. We are currently playing a Pathfinder game.
This is role-playing games, like
so
Dungeons and Dragons kind of stuff.
Yeah, D&D, I am used to the old stuff. Like, I started playing back in the 80s when it first got rolling. So that's what I'm used to. So all these new Pathfinder rules and stuff like that, I'm still getting used to it. But I haven't had a problem with it so far. We played the Star Wars version of it, and that was all right. But, I mean, they're constantly changing it. So it's like you get used to it, and they swap it out for something else. But
this is also one of Jim's things that drives him crazy about me. I always have on Burt's Bees chapstick.
Yeah, and then wants to kiss me.
And then I kiss you, and what do?
The thing is, she doesn't tell me that it's on there. She's like, give me a kiss. Like, she knows it's there.
Like, I apply it, and then I'm like, where's Jim?
If Emily ever wants to kill me and get away with it, she knows that if she just puts something on her lips and says, kiss me, I will kiss her and I will die.
Then she has one for me. What's your least favorite horror genre? You want to address while we both started staring in the same area at the same time?
So, Dharma has picked something up from Emily. She has started snoring.
Even when she's not asleep.
When she's just staring straight at you. Wide awake. You're adorable.
She's just sitting in the recliner right there, watching us, sitting there
just making noise. Like, you ever get so big that you just make weird noises? Like, not even walking or getting up or getting down, you're just sitting in your chair. You're like, yeah, I want that other piece of pizza.
When Buster lost all that weight, we were still trying to get him to eat. And he wasn't, so Dharma was eating enough for 2 cats.
Right. And now she is the chungus among us.
Oh. Okay, so my least favorite horror genre. I hate the movies, like I don't know the term.
Slasher.
It's not necessarily
Gore.
the slasher. And it's not always the gore that bothers me. It's the torture. Yeah. I don't like torture horror.
Yeah.
I don't want to
Give an example.
Hostel. Movies like Hostel. I don't want to see people tortured just for the sake of torturing people because some people think that's fun. Give me a good supernatural horror movie any day and I'll choose that.
Yeah. Well, that's better than mine. Mine would be I don't like any of them.
Yet I drag him. Because I love them.
Yeah, like 90% of the movies we see are horror movies. And then she's like, no, you're going to like this one. And then I'm walking out of there. I'm like, that was terrible.
Well, we're going to the movies on Monday. I'm going to try to get him to go see kind of an in-between. I really want to see Underwater.
And I really want to take her to Star Wars, even though I've already seen it. But I know she's not going to go see that.
This one is for both of us. The last question she asked.
Is Dutch ovening a form of affection or an act of war? So, I guess intention.
Yes, intention plays in dramatically.
So, I have learned 2 interesting things about my body. When you eat a lot of, what is that? That sugar-free sweetener stuff?
I had to explain to him what was going on when he was trying to lose weight and went through an entire bag of sugar-free mints. And so many noxious smells were emitting from his body.
And I couldn't understand why. And the other thing that does it is like carrots and celery and just eating a lot of that stuff. So I know that now. So if I eat that stuff and then come to bed, that is
it's on.
Chemical warfare at its finest. You want to come up, buddy?
Come on.
So that is. But again, now I walk in the room and fart, and she gets mad at me because I came in the room. Like, I wasn't trying to, lay that on her like that. So that wasn't an act of war. So it's all about the intent.
Yeah.
Plus, it's how the other person takes it. Like, she loves it. She can't get enough of it. She's always like, oh, tonight,
sure.
She calls it putting her in the oven and stuff. So, and I'm like, she's like, well, put me in the oven tonight. And I'm like, no, baby, not tonight. I can't.
None of this is true.
Rolodex.
He sees me distracted, and he's just lying.
Rolodex says, if you, both of you, could have any type of animal as a pet, what would it be and why? Other than this guy right here? Any type of animal. So I've been watching a lot of, what's the name of that show?
There's some...
The Aquarium.
Yeah, it's about the Georgia Aquarium. It's on Hulu.
And it's about how they take care of the animals and where they come from and all the stuff that they have to go through with them. And, man, I love sea lions. They're great. And then what are the little furry things that were on last night?
Otters.
Otters? Man, those things are like the most adorable things in the world. They're basically sea cats, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
they are.
So.
River cat.
Yeah.
I like the penguins.
Yeah.
Although, if I was going to have a pet, like, remember what that show that we watched where that woman had that raccoon?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe the raccoon was blind?
Yeah.
She had to move to Florida with it because you can't have a raccoon as a pet.
Yeah.
A lot of places.
Mm-hmm.
That raccoon was so cool. He was kind of like having a cat.
Yeah.
So we just want other animals that are like cats.
Can I get a cheetah?
No.
I would have a cheetah.
Okay.
Or an animal, like a cat large enough that I could ride it, like Battle Cat. Can I get a Battle Cat? Can I get Battle Cat? Do the fake animals count? Can I get a unicorn? Unicorns grant wishes?
No.
I don't want a
think
unicorn.
so.
Scratch that one. I'll take a Battle Cat, though. I'm not done. I want a falcon, but not just any falcon. I want a Millennium Falcon.
It's not an animal. There's 2 on here.
Okay.
These are from Laura, or Maud and Mozart. What are each of your favorite books? You go first.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Not only is it my favorite book, not only is it the greatest book, but it's also the only book that I've ever read.
Tim's not a big reader.
No. I've started books.
I
just don't finish them.
I'm not a big reader now. I used to read a lot.
Yeah.
For a long time, I would always answer that my favorite book was Flowers for Algernon. I also used to read a lot of John Saul. I loved his books. Gosh, there's so many that I love.
See, and I read a lot. I read a lot of autobiographies.
Yeah. I still think you should read A Walk in the Woods. I think you would think that was informational and hilarious. Didn't I drag you to the movies to see that?
That was the Nick Nolte.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love memoirs, too. I've read a whole bunch of memoirs.
Mm-hmm.
Like Prozac Nation and all those. What is Jimmy's favorite thing you have stitched?
That's a good question. What is my favorite thing you've stitched?
You've told me that,
It's asking you, or do I have to answer it?
I would think that you should answer it. I know what you've told me.
What?
The house piece that I did. That started when, before we moved and finished when we got into this house. The one that's right inside the front door.
Okay, what's the...
The 3 things sampler?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's good.
It's not your favorite?
I like the heart. I like the heart because the heart's mine.
Yep.
That's a cool one.
And that was the fastest stitch ever.
I like the ones that I had a little input in. I love when she customizes things, and I like when I get to add in a little thing here or there. Because for some reason, she cannot come up with a great quote.
I do.
And for some reason, that's all I have. However, I'll butcher the hell out of it. I'll say like, oh yeah, it's this thing here. And then she's like, okay. And she'll go look it up. And she's like, actually, it's this. And I'm like, yeah, same thing. Basically, same thing. It's like not even close.
Like Jim came up with a quote that's on his eyes on the sparrow piece going up the stairs. You told me I should put the Nietzsche quote in, and it fits perfectly.
Yeah. Yeah. Or, and I'm taking credit for the Led Zeppelin also.
Which I haven't stitched yet.
No, I'm taking credit for it.
Yeah, you came up with that.
It's all mine.
I asked what she could... Did I ask you, or did I say that?
What?
Anyway, pull another one.
But she does shoot down some of my ideas. Like, I had the one idea was like, whenever I lose something now, I always look in the attic first. And that was Hitler, talking about Anne Frank.
So inappropriate.
J. Fenwick 11. via DM.
Yeah, that means it was, like, she DM'd me and that was her question.
Do you know who that is?
No, off the top of my head.
Okay. What is something from each of your bucket lists?
Seeing the Aurora Borealis.
Yeah. You definitely want to see that show. Oh, you mean Alaska?
Yeah. Or Canada.
Bucket list.
Don't.
Chungus is going to jump on the table and probably break it.
Yeah, and she's eyeing your cream soda.
We're going to swap up. I feel like I need to take her to Disneyland. I know she's way past the age where she's actually going to enjoy Disneyland like you would when you were 9 or 10. But I just feel like there are certain things that everyone needs to do once in their life, and going to Disneyland is one of them.
So I need to know what time of year we should go to Disneyland where there aren't 5 million screaming children and annoying adults. Does that even exist?
You'd have to go during the school year.
Yeah.
Bucket list. I don't know. Getting a battle cat would be pretty cool.
You have a battle cat right there.
Yeah.
Tattooed on his chest.
One that I can ride.
I got 2. This person asked several questions, and I accidentally cut them apart. So,
the first of many to come.
Rice Strenny 6719 says, "Does Emily know about when I was dating Jim?"
Oh, now she does. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that later.
Let's pull another one. So Scrap News says, "Who do you guys prefer, Judge Judy or Judge Ramesh?"
Oh,
who is Judge Ramesh?
I don't know. How about Judge Reinhold? Can I choose him?
Yeah.
Judge Dredd.
Who is the guy from Night Court? I choose him.
Harry.
Harry. Get the big one.
Big one.
That's not the big one.
L'Oreal 13.
Yep.
Has 2 questions.
Mm-hmm.
How many skeins of floss does Jimmy think you have, and what does he think 1 skein of
Gassed
cost? Okay, so here's the thing. I know she's got a lot of floss because I bobbinate them for her.
Well, you bobbinated the DMC.
Yes.
Gassed is this stuff.
I buy you those also,
Yeah.
actually, with the help of
Trisha.
Yeah, Trisha Owls.
Trisha Owls.
How many skeins of floss do I think you have?
I don't even know.
200. It's a lot. I don't know. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Gassed? I don't know. How about 1 skein of gassed? How about $9?
It's like $2.40. $2.17.
Oh.
I think is what it costs on 1, 2, 3 Stitch. Something like that.
There you go. How much is a silk thread?
Closer to $9.
Okay.
He's bought silks before. He's thinking silk prices.
Here you go.
What is Jimmy's favorite Emily story?
Wait, is an Emily story a story that she's told me, or is an Emily story something that
Probably something
we've done?
that they would consider an Emily story. Something funny. Or probably something we've done. Something you know firsthand.
No
is
problem.
how I would interpret it.
So the greatest story of Emily and my history is we met, we hung out for about a week, and she broke up with me.
Well, we weren't really.
We weren't dating, but we had seen each other 3 or 4 times in that week. We were, didn't we? We were hanging out a bit.
Yeah.
She showed me her favorite movie of all time, which was Pan's Labyrinth. I showed her the greatest movie of all time, which was Weekend at Bernie's 2. And then we broke up. Maybe there's a correlation there. I don't know. But we broke up, and so I said, that's a shame. Went on with my life. Cartersville's too small of a town to not run into someone again, and we did. It was probably A month later?
Maybe.
It had to have been because you still had my phone number in your phone.
I don't delete numbers.
So
you delete numbers like crazy.
We go to, my brother and I are eating lunch at an Applebee's, just sitting there hanging out. Emily walks in with about 3 of her work friends at the time, and they sit at the table, and I say to my brother, switch seats with me because I know her. And so he got up and swapped with me, and we were talking, and he kind of looks over my shoulder and comes back, and he says, that girl that you know, I think, is coming over here. And I said, okay. And sure enough, she walked over. She asked how I was doing. We had a nice little conversation. And it was fine. Everything was good. I said, it was good to see you again. "Yeah, great." And she walked off and she ate. And Joe and I finished our lunch. And Joe and I paid and we got up to leave. And as we were walking out, I said, you want to see something funny? Watch this. And Joe's like, okay. And he stood there by the door. And I walked all the way around the outside, the upper level of the Applebee's. Came up behind her where all of her friends could see me, walked up behind her, took her hair in my hands and went, oh, that's real bad, real bad, real bad, real bad.
You didn't say that.
Yes, I did.
I don't remember you saying anything. I just remember you smelling my hair.
And saying real bad over and over and over again, and then just turned around and left. So the point of that was so her friends would be like, what weird freaks is she dating?
This guy.
Yeah. So I left. Unfortunately, I couldn't see the look on their face. I could only imagine it was like... and Joe was just like, that's hilarious. There's something not right with you. But I didn't get 5 minutes down the road and I got a text from her saying, that was hilarious. What are you doing? What's wrong with you?
And then we started dating again.
Yeah. Yeah. So Weekend at Bernie's ends it. Snipping her hair. Picks right back up.
I'm like, you know what? There's something special about that.
There is, and now every time she gets mad at me, I just snip her hair, and she's like, you're all right. You're the one for me. You little sniffer.
Sarah X Stitches. What do you both want to achieve in 5 years? I want to be happy.
Yeah. My goals don't really revolve around a thing. It's just, I wish I'm happier in my career. I hope that I'm physically healthier, a healthier person.
Yep.
And that's about it.
Yeah.
I'm not like, world domination in 5 years at least.
Yeah, like people have like 5, 10, 15-year plans, and Jim and I are people that look at people like that and think, we don't get it.
Yeah.
Because that's one reason we get along so well together, because what's more important to us is happiness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that, and I would like, in 5 years, I would like to have given Haley at least 3 more kids. And then maybe she'll stop asking us to have children.
Here, I'm giving you Baxter's.
All right, this is from Baxter.
McKenna.
So classy. Favorite sex position?
We gotta eventually get to her question.
She's usually so reserved. It's weird that she would just lead off with a sex question. My favorite sex position is a little something called the excited gorilla. It's technically it's the excited naughty gorilla if you're wearing a fake mustache, but if you're not, it's just an excited gorilla. If you have the fake mustache, go ahead and do the naughty gorilla. But that would be mine. Everyone Google that. Don't Google that.
Don't Google that.
I will say this. If you've ever met Emily in person, you cannot deny that she has a really nice butt. You don't have to say it, because we all know it's true.
I love you.
She's got a butt that won't quit.
Which he once told a nurse, that's a fun story, when he had his quadruple bypass surgery, the morning of the surgery, they had started giving him drugs, like getting him relaxed, getting ready to go down to the operating room. And I had noticed in the time we'd been in the hospital that any concerns that he had, he was only telling me. And I was like, honey, like, I can't be down there. I can't be with you all the time. I see you. I can't be with you. You've got to talk to these nurses the way that you talk to me. You've got to share things with them. Talk to them the way you talk to me. Which in turn led Jim to look directly at a nurse who entered the room right after that and say,
"You got a butt that won't quit." Yeah.
She said she was used to it.
Yeah.
She did have a nice butt.
I don't know. I was out of it. I was just glad it was a female. I was so out of it. I probably was talking to the EKG machine or something.
Next.
Well,
Baxter
I would like to point out, though, that I think Baxter has a nice butt, too.
She does.
So, I know that she's just fishing for a compliment, so you got it. I hope you're happy. Favorite flavor of donut?
I like a simple, like, glazed donut with chocolate icing on it.
Yeah, and I'm a
and sprinkles.
Boston, yeah. The more crap you can get on top, the better. But I'm a Boston cream guy.
Yeah.
But that wasn't until I found out that Krispy Kreme makes a Boston cream donut with like cake icing in the middle, and I'm like, screw this
so
custard
good.
crap. That's icing. That's even better. Krispy Kreme, I think, is solely responsible for my quadruple bypass.
No, not solely. All of our trips to Wendy's and McDonald's there for a while,
Yeah.
and all of those stuffed crust pizzas from the Pizza Hut in front of our old townhouse.
Jesus, how are we alive? Now that you're listing all this stuff off, and the smoking that you did, and we just sat around not doing anything, yeah. How are the two of us both so alive?
Yeah, we were on a really bad track there for a while.
Miracle Whip or mayo?
Mayo. But now we buy the olive oil mayo because we think that's healthier.
Yeah, I gotta say though, this is coming from Baxter, so what are you using this for?
Is that a euphemism for something?
That's what I'm wondering.
Like,
are we doing a naughty gorilla? What is a dream job for both of you? I love going to flea markets, antique malls, estate sales, yard sales, just digging through stuff and finding gems and flipping them and making money. I don't do it enough, obviously, to do it as a career. And I will say that once you start doing something for money, it becomes less fun. So
yeah.
I would say doing stuff like that, if I could make a living off of it, I would do it. But who knows? Maybe once I have to start doing it all the time, I might not like it as much.
Yeah, like I might say opening a cross-stitch shop, but what if I start doing it, and because now it's my job, it's not as much fun?
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah. Are you selling cross-stitch, or are you selling supplies?
Supplies.
And charts and stuff like that.
Yeah, like a shop, like that shop we went to in New Jersey.
I don't know. Would you get access to, charts and stuff that are harder to come by if you didn't own a shop?
Not necessarily. You might get access to things first.
Yeah. Yeah, but you don't care if you get it first or last.
Yeah.
If you want that chart, then you just will get it eventually.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, what if you, how about this? What if you went from retreat to retreat selling stuff from your shop? You know, you'd get to go hang out with your friends, and you'd get to stitch all the time, and
yeah.
And all you would have to do is just set up a little booth and let people buy stuff. Come on,
But
buddy.
travel makes me anxious. I wouldn't want to travel a lot.
Take this.
Okay. Last one. If you had kids, what would have been some names?
It's up to Haley.
We talked about if we had a whoops baby, is what we always call it. What if we had a whoops baby? What would we name it? We talked about naming a little boy Hudson.
Mm-hmm.
I always liked the name Graham, but then I met you and your best friend's
Yeah,
name
a
was
good
Graham.
friend of mine's name is Graham. He's the guitar player.
We could still have a kid named Graham, though.
It's
Graham
true.
might think that was cool.
It's true. It's true.
What about a little girl?
I always like the name Voltron. Little Voltron Savaro. Little Optimus Prime Savaro. Those are great names. They stick.
I like old-fashioned names, like
Shaquanda.
Agnes or Rosemary.
Yeah, that kid's getting beat up a lot. No one's fucking with Optimus Prime Savaro. Because he can turn into a truck.
We're getting towards the end.
Mm.
Who decides on house decorating, like the brown wall? I don't think we have it. We had a brown wall at the old place.
Where was that?
The townhouse.
Where was the brown wall?
The living room. All the walls.
Oh, they were all brown. I'm thinking like an accent wall.
Yeah. Who decides on house decorating like the brown wall? Does E decide and Jay goes along, or do you both decide?
Did you say who this was from?
Oh, it's Jill Ben 4547.
Well, Jill, that's an easy one. Do you see any comic books back here at all? Before we moved in, that's all I had around my house were these old Alex Ross comic book paintings, which to this day I still think are amazing. Those are long gone. I no longer have any of those.
There's one in the garage. Isn't there?
No. That had a tear in it. That's why I didn't sell it. She's very nice about it. She is like, do you like that? You know, think this should go here? And I'm like, no. And she's like, it's going there. See, the punctuation at the end of that sentence was completely ornamental.
We talk about things. Like, before we painted anything in this house, we agreed on colors. I told him what I was thinking, and he told me if he liked it or not. He did say he really wanted blue in the bedroom, and we have the blue wall in the bedroom.
It didn't matter what I said.
Yes, it does.
It doesn't. But, you know, she makes art, so it would be pointless not to put it up, you know?
He has said before, something he's not saying now, you've always told me that you appreciate how our old place and this place feel like a home.
Yeah, it looks like an adult. An adult lives there, and not like a 13-year-old little kid.
Yeah. I'm going to hand you one.
Mary
Sice Stitching?
Mary S.E. is stitching?
Yeah, maybe.
You ever, like, drive past a car and sit there for an hour trying to figure out what the license plate said, and then realize that it's not a vanity plate? You've just been trying to spell out words. I'm starting to think that that's what you guys are doing here. These are just a bunch of letters put together with the word stitching at the end. Why do you stitch? Heart, flower, butterfly.
I stitch because it is a calming activity for me. It helps with anxiety. I like to create things. I enjoy the rhythm of the thread going through the material. And because I want a hobby where I can sit on the couch and watch television.
Yeah. Every once in a while she'll make what I call the R2-D2 noise, which is when she gets off on her counts or the thread knots up. That's a big thing. When the thread knots up, she'll go,
Just like, I don't think I make that noise.
Yeah, you do.
I go, Urgh.
It's great. Or it's like a Miss Piggy right before she's about to karate chop someone. So she says it's relaxing, but every once in a while. Or, and this is great, she'll swear, but she won't swear like a normal person swears. She'll start to swear and then stop, but then go ahead and finish it. She'll go, mother, fucker.
I do that.
Yeah, it's great because it's like, wait, what was she gonna say? Mother forks? Mother forklift?
What came out was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Was it gonna be worse?
She seems angry, but maybe she just needs a mother forklift. And then she's like, fuck her. I'm like, oh, all right, she's angry.
El Poo is here. That's Ellen Reed from Crash Test Dummies. How did you two meet? We kind of covered that one.
Yeah, we met on Facebook. Or,
MySpace.
excuse me, MySpace. And then the second time we met at Applebee's.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third time we met.
We broke up a lot.
The third time
I
we
had
met.
commitment issues.
I was living in the townhouse, the townhome, development that she was living in. And I knew she lived there because she lived at the same place that when we dated. And I started looking at houses, and I couldn't find any around. And I specifically told my
Your real estate agent?
to not look in that area because I knew someone that lived there, and I didn't want to be like stalking her. And she said, well, there's a really nice place that opened up there. And we went through there, and there were 3 real duds of places. They were not good. One actually was the place right behind hers, and I said, I'm not even looking at this place because it's literally, I can see in the back.
I can see into her house.
So I'm like, no, I don't want this at all. And then as we were leaving, we saw a guy putting up the sign to sell a place, and I said, that's too nice of a place. I ended up buying it, and I actually stayed there for a few months. Like, it was a good chunk of time, and she never even knew I was there. And,
Then you decided to let me know. Right?
No. One day I was driving home from work, and I'm coming down the road, and I pull behind her, and I kind of am like, that was like Emily's old car, and I'm behind her, and when she starts to pull into the development, I'm like, that's definitely her. So I was waving and honking and stuff like that, and she thought I was a total, like, this guy's trying to run me off the road to murder me. And when she made the left to go to her house, and I went past her, I was looking at the window and waving, and that's when she saw who I was and was like, oh, okay, I know who that is. What is he doing here? And once again, she still had my number.
Because I don't delete numbers.
This was like 1.5 years after we had broken up. It was a long time. And she called me or texted me, and we started talking again. We started watching True Blood.
True Blood. And you started teaching me how to play the guitar.
So one of the great things about moving into a new home is you get all these, like, free things. Like cable companies and stuff will send you stuff. Hey, sign up with us. We'll give you HBO for free for 3 months. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm going to order it anyway. I might as well get the free HBO. I never watched it. She found out that I had it, and she's like, I want to see True Blood. So she came over. We started watching it.
Which turned into some making out and watching True Blood.
Yeah, a lot of weird...
It's a lot of sex in True Blood.
Fake mustache gorilla stuff. And the funny thing was, 3 months later, they're like, hey, we're canceling your HBO subscription. I'm like, no, you can't do that because I've got a girl that comes over here and actually hangs out with me because of HBO. So I actually subscribed to it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I kept paying for it so she would keep coming over.
So Dish Network is responsible for our marriage.
Yeah, friggin' True Blood of all things.
Good job.
Of all things.
And I think that, that last time that we got together, because you were seeing other people then too, and very open about it. And I think that jealousy is partially responsible.
Can I tell them the whole story of that?
Which part?
I don't think you want me to.
Probably not.
Okay, I won't say it. Next question, please.
Next question, please. Olivia asks, if you had to start a business...
Basiagio.
Yes. If you had to start a business together, what would it be? And there's another question.
A business? Yeah, an antique place.
Yeah.
It kind of encompasses everything.
We could have stitching and toys.
Yeah. Right.
And we love antique stores and flea markets. That's like our jam.
It's true.
Together.
Yeah, we love animals. Like we love cats, but I don't think we would want to. Like we wouldn't want to take care of a bunch of cats and stuff like that. Too much work. So I think antiques and old stuff is our jam. And we would open a restaurant, but then we would just eat there and never open the doors, and we would go out of business in a month. But we would be really fat.
If you could go anywhere on vacation and money is no object, where would you go?
Well, apparently there's some mission in outer space that Ingeborg really is trying to get us to go to. I
really want to go see Olivia.
It's funny how that changed from going to the Aurora Borealis to now she wants to go see Olivia. Because Olivia's asking the question.
Well, no, I would like to go see Olivia. I would like to start in San Francisco area.
Oh, yeah. I'll definitely go see her sister. She's got a cookie shop. She sent us cookies. Man, that stuff is good.
Yeah, it was delicious. So I would like to start there, rent a car, drive up the coast, go through wine country, like kind of tour through that. And this is the if money is no object part, because this would be an expensive trip.
Sure.
And then I would like to go up through the redwood forest. And then I would like to tool around all throughout the Pacific Northwest and just see all the weird shit. And all the huge trees and all of the rain and weirdos. And it would be awesome.
What about going to see Ingeborg? She was like, when are you going to come to the Netherlands?
Yeah, we could do that too.
Because money's no object. Yeah. I don't know where I would go. To be honest with you, I would stay in the U.S. because
there's so much to see.
I don't want to go to a place where I don't understand the language, because then I'm dependent on someone else being there for me. And if that's the case, then it's not really a trip I'm on. It's like you and I are going, and we've also got Miguel who's telling us where to go and not to go, you know? Although I really enjoyed Canada. Canada is a great place. I would go there again. Just not the French-speaking parts of Canada.
I want to go to Canada. I've never been to Canada.
Yeah.
You want to go to a stitching retreat in Canada?
Whatever. I would go to somewhere in the United States or Canada.
We're getting down to the end.
Prairie Girl Stitcher.
This is going to be the Emily and Jim movie, by the way.
Yep. If you two started a new hobby together, what would it be?
We put together a puzzle the other day. Well, you put together 90% of a puzzle, and I put in like 10 pieces.
Is riding coattails a hobby? Because that would be something Emily would be very good at.
We have baked together before.
Yeah.
Yeah. He is a much better baker than I am.
Well,
I'm a better cook, you're a better baker.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't just be baking. If we did a hobby like that, yeah, like...
we would make food together.
We would make delicious, delicious food and be fat and gross and die.
We could paint together.
No, I like the eating idea. I'm going with eating.
Like, what if we just got a big canvas and just did some awesome painting
I tell you one thing that I have been trying to get together for a long time, and that is a bowling league. Just not a competitive bowling league, nothing like that. Just a bunch of friends going out, teams of two, couples, once a week, once every other week, whatever, and just...
I'm not competitive. I hate competitive.
And I don't want to be out there with people that are like calling fouls and stuff like that, man. This is really just a reason to get together and hang out. But
yeah.
Something like that I would do. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah. Hewitt Hill samplers for each of you. What's your favorite thing that Emily has stitched?
The heart.
The heart.
Yeah.
What is my favorite?
Well, I shouldn't say it's my favorite. Like, it's my favorite because it's mine.
I made it for you.
Yeah, it's mine.
And I hid it from him until I gave it to him.
The best, like some of the work that she does, like the intricate work, from like when I was in art school, I would drive myself nuts with the detail. I was so detail oriented. So when she does something that's very, very intricate and those are some of my favorites. That angel that you gave your mom was crazy good. I love that stuff. That's the stuff. It might not be my favorite, but I'm most impressed by that. I know, John. That's what I said.
I don't know what my favorite is. I love everything that I have framed.
The monkey.
I do love the monkey, but it's probably not my favorite. One of the samplers is probably my favorite. Maybe even his eyes on the sparrow, because I worked on that so hard, and then you put something into it because you came up with the quote.
Yeah.
We're close.
Hall mail call.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you get into cross stitch?
My mom was kind of a seamstress, meaning like she would make us clothes and things like that because I was very tall, and so she would make me clothes that would actually fit, and she would make us frilly dresses that we hated to wear. And then my grandmother was a crocheter, and she loved to craft. I wasn't into any of that really, so I tried to find my own thing. And so I bought a cross stitch kit one day out with my grandmother, and we brought it back to her house and just figured it out.
Did you say in the early to mid 90s cross stitch kind of had a surge, so that probably played a part in it somewhat?
Because I think I probably started stitching probably around like 89, 90.
Yeah, well, you have the Holly Hobby.
And
that's 92, isn't it?
Yeah. How do you remember the date on that?
I don't want to say.
I think it's hanging in front of the toilet in one of our bathrooms.
Yes. Sometimes when you're straining, when you close your eyes and you have that tunnel vision, and you're about to black out, the last thing you see is, what is it, ECR? ECR 92?
ESR?
ESR.
Wow. We've got Holly Hobby memorized.
Yeah. All right. KBH.
Stitches.
You know what that is? KBH?
No.
We'll call her Karen. Karen says, just have Jim rename all the memorabilias. It's a simple formula, Karen. Just put the word hooker in it. That's all it is.
Hooker with a lantern.
Yes. Hooker leaning against the post. Hooker with an erection.
Hooker that's half fish.
Yeah. Anything with hooker, it's funny, isn't it?
When did you know Jim was the one? This is from Yanni Navoa. When did I know you were the one?
When I sniffed her hair in public.
I think, seriously guys, I had some serious commitment issues because I had been married before. Not everybody knows this probably. And I really felt like that I had made a poor life choice. Like he wasn't a bad guy, but he wasn't the one. So I questioned my ability to make good decisions about people. So when Jim kept coming back into my life, I think there just came a point where I was like, I cannot imagine my life without this man in it. And that's when I knew.
So the funny aspect of my side of this is when I first met her, I was floored. I thought she was gorgeous, thought she was really intelligent. A woman like her is very hard to find in this area, right?
Okay.
It's true. And I really liked her. And of course, like I said earlier, it lasted like a week. And I was like, oh, that's a bummer. That's too bad. I really liked her. So that went on. And then like it was just a little bit later, we get back together. And I like immediately fell for her again. That didn't work out. Bummer. We got together again. That didn't. We broke up again.
Remember the time that we broke up and then I called you on your drive home?
You called me on the
right.
Right. It wasn't even like an hour, and we were back together again. Like, and it was just a constant like, you fall for her, you get your heart broken. Fall for her, heartbroken. And I did it so many times that last time,
this man is a saint.
I said I am not doing this ever again. When she called me. And we started watching True Blood, I said, do not get back into a relationship with her. But like I also said, she got a butt that just won't quit. So, you want to come over and hang out with me? Absolutely. Yes, I will sit through True Blood and hang out with this hot chick. Absolutely, I'm down for that. And I said, just don't get serious with her. Do not, because she will just dump you in 9 months. Like that was her time span, was usually about 9 months or so. And I said, you're not going to make it past 9 months, so just don't get attached to her this time. And it was hilarious because when I kind of just cut that emotion off is the one time that it lasted.
Yeah.
We're still together. So
yeah.
That's apparently what I had to do was stop trying.
Yep. I moved in with you.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't been apart except for a night or two here and there since.
Yep. All right. Was that last one mine?
I don't know.
Okay. We've had this one before. This is the same girl that just blew up my spot. Why did you tell Emily that we've been dating?
Yeah.
Is it Ray?
Ray Strini 6719.
Strangest place y'all stitched or ... whatever. We used to get crazy and we would stitch on the staircase. Sometimes we would
You're actually answering this question.
stitch in the laundry room. Things are different when you're young and flexible.
Absolutely. A decade or a decade and a half ago,
Right,
things were a lot crazier than when you're in your post bypass and a little fluffier stage.
Now, it's more a question, where do you guys eat? And it's like, now we eat on the staircase, or in the laundry room, in the bedroom, all that stuff.
Priorities change.
I will say, I don't know if I'm going to answer a question that someone else is about to ask, but this was a really funny story. Valentine's Day. It was Valentine's Day, like the last time we'd gotten back together.
I'm so scared as to what he's about to share.
My parents were getting rid of a TV, and they live in Florida. And my brother and I were like, "Hey, let's let's go down and get it. It's a good TV. One of us could use it." He's like, "Sure." And then I just started seeing her again. She's like, "I'm like, well, come with me. You come with me. I want to go with you, and we'll spend some time together." I was thinking the drive down would be a good opportunity to like talk to her for like 9 hours where she can't get away from me. That's great.
Yeah, and I would be meeting your parents.
Yeah. And so I feel really bad because I told Joe that, look, I'm going with Emily. You got to stay back. And he was like, mother. So we drive all the way down there, and it was Valentine's Day. And it was like one morning, we get up, we're just laying in bed together, we're talking, and I'm thinking, a little morning time fun, but I never tried anything. Because we were at my parents' house.
Yeah.
So we're talking, we're giggling, we're having a good time, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to get up. And I get up, and I go up into the living room, where the bedroom was right off the living room, and I'm walking around, no one's there. And I'm like, hello? Hello? And no one answers. So in the living room, I turn back to the bedroom, and I yell, no one's here, we could have been doing it the whole time.
Well, he said we could have been having sex this whole time.
Yeah.
Like, very loudly.
Very loudly. And I start walking back, and I hear, good morning. And I turn around, and my mom had just walked out of her bedroom behind me.
No way she didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Great first impression.
Yeah.
Your parents love me, then.
Yeah. Yeah. But it is true, we could have been doing it the whole time.
We could have been. Sylvia E. Sanchez says, spicy food or not spicy food?
No, I'm not a spicy food type.
I like.
It's not even a heart thing. It's.
He's
I never was.
it.
I never really was.
I like spicy food, but I have a limit. Like, some people like to see how hot they can eat and tolerate.
Yeah, like those.
I'm not that person. I just like a little bit of...
Yeah, you wouldn't do one of those ghost pepper challenge things or anything like that, but...
No, I like things mildly spicy.
Yeah.
But spicier than he likes.
Yeah, no, I used to eat buffalo wings. I would get them mild, you know.
I think we're down to like 4.
Okay.
Well, though that one appears has like 3 on it.
T&X Stitcher.
Mm-hmm.
What's the scariest movie you've ever seen?
What I think is the scariest movie was The Descent. Like the first time you see it. Because it was so different than anything I had seen and really scary.
The Blair Witch, when it first came out and I saw that for the first time, I was scared to walk through the woods behind my friend's house to go home.
Yeah.
Now looking at it, you're like, oh, that's kind of campy and silly, but
they hyped it up. That was really scary at the time.
Yeah, but I mean, movies like for me, like Poltergeist and The Exorcist and stuff, I really feel like those hold up a lot.
Yep.
Oh, and what's that really good one that we watch? It's The Conjuring.
I know The Conjuring by heart.
Is that the one I'm thinking of?
The old house.
Yeah.
The guy from Office Space.
Yes, yeah, that's it. Like she went through a period where she just like made me watch a whole bunch of them. So like Sinister, The Conjuring, and like Insidious, all those movies that
you liked Insidious a lot.
That came out. They all kind of ran together for me. Which one's Insidious?
That's the one with like, he can kind of travel
when he sleeps.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. But The Conjuring was a really good one, though. How many sampler patterns are too many?
No such thing.
All of them. See, we kind of differ on that one. Yeah, she's got a lot of sampler patterns. I've now, when I look for Christmas gifts and stuff for her, if it's not a sampler, I just don't even usually bother with it. I know, like, that's kind of...
That's become my jam.
That's her jam, yeah. What movie or TV show... do you like that are embarrassing or guilty pleasure?
Oh, all of them.
Well, I apparently have been swept away by a TV show about an aquarium, so...
It's Jim's current happy place.
True Blood would probably be up there also.
What was that show that we watched for a while, where it was the dating show, but you got to see people naked, and you could choose them based on...
I believe it was called Dating Naked, or
it was some like
it was
foreign
British.
show.
It was British. It was
that was a guilty pleasure that we actually told a few people about, and they were like, "You're right. The show is so good because you get to see so much like people's just natural naked bodies."
Yeah. What was that? That was called?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
We also were really into Married at First Sight.
Yeah, but these aren't guilty pleasures. I'm trying to think of something like The Masked Singer. Or something like that. Actually, there was a while we watched whatever season of American Idol, and I think it was the first season. Steven Tyler came on, and Jennifer Lopez, and Randy were the 3 judges, and we watched it, and we were like, she voted, like we were like we were there. And then we watched like the second season. We're like, this is terrible. And then the third season, we're like, I'm done with this show. We'll never watch this again. That was a guilty pleasure.
Yeah. I didn't really tell that many people that I voted. Now the world knows.
She voted. She voted a lot.
Because there were people we really liked.
There were people that she really liked.
What was that girl's name who would sing?
Benny and the Jets.
Benny and the Jets.
Haley Reinhart.
Haley Reinhart. Loved her.
And I like that guy McDonald that used to do...
Paul McDonald?
Yeah, because he did...
How do we remember his names?
Song of Maggie. He did Maggie May very well.
Yeah.
And as I recall, the only country guy won it. It was...
of course he did.
It was that dude that sang out of the side of his mouth, and he would hold the microphone sideways. What was his name?
I don't remember.
He was terrible.
I was done.
He was the absolute worst one, and he won, and we were like, okay.
Catty Sue Katz wants to know, what's the funniest, weirdest, most embarrassing thing that has happened to you? Well, you told the story about your mom.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, but, you know, like a personal, like, that doesn't have anything to do with you or anything like that?
I don't know. Doesn't say.
Oh, she's an embarrassing story. We used to have to do physical fitness tests, and in high school. And when I was in high school, by the way, I was the new kid. I just moved from New Mexico, didn't know anyone.
You moved a lot as a kid.
Yeah, like 5 states before the end of high school, I think. And yeah, so we were doing fitness testing, pull-ups, push-ups, sit-ups, relay running, stuff like that, sit and reach, stuff like that. And during the sit-ups, I farted on the poor kid that was holding my feet. My nickname in high school, by the way, was Batman, because I used to wear this Batman shirt like every day to school. I loved it. So the funniest part of the story was, as I was doing a sit-up and I farted, the kid holding my feet went, "Oh, Batman?" So I don't know if you've ever farted and had someone say, "Oh, Batman" to you before, but it's a funny chain of events.
I don't know what my funniest story is.
She doesn't want to tell her her most embarrassing story. Well, then tell a funny story. It says, did it say?
I'm trying to think of something. I can't think of anything.
Funniest, weirdest, most embarrassing thing. I went embarrassing, but
I don't know. You tell one.
I just did.
No, that for me.
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know a funny story for you. I'm trying to think of something that was outside of you and me that happened a while ago. Emily stole a cone, a street cone.
Oh, yeah.
And she also stole a stool. You know what? She might be a kleptomaniac now that I'm thinking about it. We have a lot of stuff in this house that's unaccounted for. I don't know where they came from. They just start appearing.
Speaking of issues, it reminds me of the story of the time that I was out with my mom and I was looking at candles and I was, picking out candles for myself, and she said, "You remind me so much of your grandmother. She, your love of that." And I said, "She liked to burn candles?" And she said, "No, she just liked to burn things."
Yeah. Yeah. That's a red flag right there.
So,
hey, buddy.
Yeah.
What about the time that my mom was cleaning the dishes?
Oh my gosh.
That's a good one.
That was when...
Yes,
that was right after his bypass
surgery. Because you were tired of her already.
Well, Jim's mom moved in with us from out of state after his bypass surgery. She stayed for a couple of weeks, plus maybe a few days. And it was already the most stressful thing I had ever gone through, because I thought I was going to lose my husband. Like, it was really scary. Mm-hmm. And I didn't understand until it had happened what a bypass surgery was. So I was still reeling from that. We had just gotten him home. One of my friends had brought over a crock pot full of, like, really healthy food. Mm-hmm. So I was freshening sheets because I was terrified he was going to start bleeding, and I always wanted the sheets to be really fresh for him. So I was doing laundry, and I told her not to worry about the crock pot. I would clean it and get it ready to go back to my friend. And when I came back from laundry. So I'm coming down with something, and I see her cleaning the crock pot. The electric part, not the insert, the electric part, in the sink, running water into it and cleaning. It's not meant to hold water. Water is running out of it.
All over the floor.
Not into the sink, down the cabinet.
She's not even paying attention. It's just going everywhere. Down
the cabinet, running across the kitchen, into the dining room. Mm-hmm. So I walk into the room and see this river flowing in my house. And I said, Jesus Christ, Diane!
Which is exactly what my dad says to her whenever she does the same shit at their house. It was crazy.
I said it much louder than that.
My wife turned into my dad at that moment. Jesus Christ, Diane! It was hilarious.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Mm-hmm.
It was bad. And right after that, I called my doctor and I went on my first medication. Seriously, I did. I was like, I need drugs. Give me drugs.
That was a funny one.
And I started taking Klonopin.
And now she's addicted to drugs. This is the last one from Ray Strini.
Yep.
Boxers or briefs? For me, I am actually boxer briefs guy.
Yep.
I am a combination of the two. When I was little, I wore tighty whities, and then as soon as I started buying my own clothes, I bought boxers. And then I made this swap over to boxer briefs. That was Buster. At some point, and I just kind of stayed there. Now
they're really cute on him.
Her mother bought me some for Christmas this year.
She did.
It's a little weird, but
she bought him like Operation the Game.
Yeah, the board game.
With interesting placed things.
Yeah.
Oh, Mom.
And so I wear thermals during the winter here because we still work outside even in the wintertime. And even though it's not snowing, it's still windy, still cold and stuff. So I do thermals, but I can't wear the boxer briefs under the thermals. They roll up.
This may be way more information than she wanted, but she's getting it.
So I do occasionally wear just the regular
briefs.
Yeah, briefs. When I wear those thermals,
which he also looks really good in.
But it's weird because even though I grew up wearing briefs, I cannot wear them now because everything's
squished.
Just hanging low.
Last question.
There's one more thing on here.
Oh.
What's your favorite thing Emily wears?
Something that shows my butt.
Yeah, she has certain jeans that look really good on her. That's the end of that story.
Mm-hmm. Sylvia E. Sanchez, last one. What's on your bucket list? Which I think
I think we had that one.
I think somebody else asked that. So, yeah. Travel.
Yeah.
Around the U.S. probably.
Yeah.
Or Canada.
Yeah, like we said, just being happy, I think, is really what we're aiming for.
We've been doing this for 2 hours. Do you think there are people that will get to the end and watch this for 2 hours? Are
that entertaining? As long as Buster keeps coming in and out of the shot, they will keep watching because that's the real draw to this.
Yep. So it's all about the Buster.
Mm-hmm. I'd watch it for Buster.
Me too.
We've started now, whenever we watch TV shows, we wait to see the cat. And then when the cat comes on, we just watch the cat, and then we lose what's going on in the story. So, we watch...
Oh, we watch Live PD.
Yeah, we watch Live PD.
There was a cat the other night.
There was a trailer park, and with the cops, all right, what's going on? And this woman's like, this guy busted out my window over here, and he came over here, and then, a cat walked by, and we're both like, what's that cat doing? What is he doing? Where's he going?
Look at the kitty.
And then the cop's like, all right, and then, gunshots are going off, and we're like, where's that new cat? Where's that cat? Put it back on the cat.
And the cop was scared of the cat?
Yeah, we completely lost track of everything that was going on. And Married at First Sight was another one.
When they have cats?
When they have cats. I'm always to Emily, I'm like, who's your favorite character on the show? And she's like, oh, so-and-so's cat. It's not even one of the people on there anymore.
Well, we're going to wrap this up.
I could go for another 2 hours.
He probably could. Hope you guys...
I've got more stories.
Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let us know if this is something that you liked. If you would like to see anything like this again in the future, or if you want us to never ever do this again.
Yeah, and remember, I get paid by the minute, so someone, I don't know, does Baxter write me a check on this, or I don't know who I go through.
Yeah, Baxter. Oh, did I show you where Baxter got as a gift from one of her neighbors at like this gift exchange, like a bull scrotum? Yeah, it's like a dangly bull
Someone
scrotum.
knows her. Someone knows her pretty well.
I think she traded for it.
That's so great.
Yeah.
Do you think she hangs it from, if she gets like another fake leg, will she hang the bull scrotum right in between the two legs? Is she building a man?
Maybe. Do you think she's Frankenstein in this shit?
Frankensteining a Frankenstein with bull penis.
On that note, we're gonna go. Bye, guys. Any closing remarks?
No.